What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here, and I am very excited to be showing you all this beautiful piece of guitar craftsmanship in the form of the Mapp Guitars Zephyr Semi-Hollowbody. The last year at the LA Amp Show, I got to meet Mike Peterson, the guitar maker behind this beautiful instrument, and played one of his earlier models. And it was a very familiar kind of guitar, something that I felt that I could easily adapt, not only just adapt to, but get along with. And the Zephyr continues that tradition. Sort of a similar kind of aesthetic that, I typically like, but with little twists and turns that make it their own. So let's take a look at some of the specs on this guitar, and then we will dive into some tones. The body is a semi-hollow mahogany body with a mahogany neck and a Bubinga top, and it is an absolutely beautiful piece of Bubinga. It is book matched, two different pieces, and the book matching on it is so well done you'd swear it was one piece. You also get a Bubinga overlay on the headstock, so you get a nice uniform Bubinga from the body to the top of the headstock. Very, very nice. The neck has a Wenge fingerboard, which just has this very nifty tiger stripe kind of vibe to it. It's just so cool to look at. And then you have Bubinga trapezoid inlays. So, man, this whole thing is just wood, 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 and I like it. As a son of a carpenter, I can get into some really nice wood grain. On the back, you have some really cool Wenge control plates for the pickup switches and the volume and tone knobs, and you even get a little bit of laser engraving on the back plate with the serial number, and you know that it's crafted in Livermore, California. It's a very nice touch. Some of the electronics and hardware touches are a very, very good choice. You have a Graphtec bridge, which is a wraparound bridge, and it has saddle savers, so you're not going to be rubbing your steel strings up against steel, so they'll last a little bit longer. The tuners are a very interesting point on this guitar. They're the Graphtec ratio tuning pegs. Now, essentially what it means is that each tuning peg has its own set ratio for tuning. So they're not the same ratio, and when I say ratio, I mean 3-to-1 or 18-to-1 or 14-to-1, so on, so forth. Basically, the amount of times you have to turn it in order to equal one revolution of the tuning peg. And why is that really important? Well, it helps with tuning stability, because you're not necessarily going to want the same ratio for your low E string as you might for your troublesome G string. So the fact that these are on there make it a very stably tuned guitar, so I'm very happy with that choice. The electronics are also a very nice choice as well. You have Lollar Imperial High Whine PAF style pickups, and the controls that you have are 2 volumes, 2 tones, with a push-pull split coil and a 3-way toggle. And the electronics are the Mad Hatter guitar products system, which I've heard a lot about and I know are currently in Steve Vai's guitars. So playing a guitar with them already installed in it is a very cool treat, and I find myself really enjoying how they perform and their consistency and the overall tone that I have. So we're done talking specs, it's time to hear how this thing sounds. We're going to be going both clean and distorted tones, and we'll throw in some effects for good measure, because everybody knows I love pedals. So we're going to be using my trusty orange Rocker Verb 100. Going into the other room, we have an orange PPC 212 cab mic'd up with an SM57. So here we go. Wow, both pickups really balance well together, both in the split sounds and the full voice sounds. Now, personally, when it comes to clean tones, I really love, on a dual pickup guitar, the middle position. I just love that balance of body and clarity, especially for arpeggiated patterns. You don't feel like one sound overpowers the other. They work very, very well together. I'm also really surprised by the split sound on the bridge pickup. Now, normally this kind of clean tone on any other guitar, you need a little bit of push to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some compression, and we'll just have a little bit of time getting a little spanky. Never thought you could twang on a semi-hollow, could you? So it's a very versatile instrument. Another thing I really like on a clean sound on this guitar is the neck pickup. Now, what I love about that is it's got a little bit more balls than your standard Strat single coil, so you can get a little bit more heft out of your funky lines, like such. So now let's listen to dirtied sounds. We're going to do the same thing we did the last time. Go bridge, middle, and neck, and then go to the split coil sounds. I only have the gain at about 6 on the rock reverb right now, so I'm going for just a little bit of a heavier crunch, not something full-on high gain. But we'll do that in a little bit, so sit tight. Here we go. Even with all that crunch, the notes ring through very nicely in all 3 positions, and especially with the split coil sounds. And I really like that the split coil sounds aren't so tinny, especially with some distortion. You know, you definitely get that kind of spiky treble when you go to a bridge single coil, but this has a little bit of meat to it. And a little bit more sustain than you might get from your typical single coil pickup. So, loving that. And I do love all that gain. I can hear every note in the chord. So for some giggles, let's go ahead and turn up the preamp gain on the orange, and let's play around a little bit and riff. That, my friends, was the Zephyr from Mapp Guitars. I really hope you enjoyed this demo, because I certainly have enjoyed getting to know this guitar. It feels very familiar, though I wish I could hang on to it for a little bit longer so that I could really work it into my playing and see just how well it and I could get along. I gotta send a big thanks to my buddy Co Schneider from the One Day Guitar Showcases, who actually is taking this very guitar on the road with him. So, if you happen to be in town where one of his road shows is going to be, I highly recommend that you go to the event and check out the Mapp Guitar Zephyr. And also a big thanks to Mike Peterson for wanting me to showcase this guitar. It is a lot of guitar. It is a lot of fun to play. It looks and sounds great. To me, that's what you really want in an instrument. Something that looks awesome and sounds amazing. And I think that the Zephyr has all those qualities. So, until next time, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and I wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Cheers, everybody.